It was a cold winter evening in New York City, the kind that made people pull their coats tighter and hurry to their destinations. Trump Tower stood tall and gleaming, its golden facade glowing against the gray sky. Barron Trump, now in his early 20s, was leaving the building after a quiet day spent catching up on work. He enjoyed walking the streets, observing the city's energy, and taking a moment to disconnect from the whirlwind of his family's name. As he stepped out of the revolving doors, something unusual caught his eye. Just a few feet away, huddled near the side of the building, was a small boy. He couldn't have been more than 6 or 7 years old. His face was pale, his lips cracked, and his thin frame shivered violently in the cold. The boy wore a tattered hoodie and jeans, far too light for the freezing weather, and clutched a sign scrawled in uneven handwriting. "I'm sick. I need help." Barron felt his heart clench. He hesitated for only a moment before walking over to the boy, crouching down to meet his eye level. The boy looked up at him with tired, watery eyes and didn't say a word. Barron spoke softly, asking him if he was okay, but the boy shook his head weakly. Barron pressed further, asking the boy's name. After a pause, the boy whispered, "Liam." His voice was hoarse, as though he'd been crying or hadn't spoken in days. Barron asked if Liam knew where his parents were. Liam's response, a small shake of the head, was enough to tell Barron that the boy was completely alone. It was clear to Barron that Liam needed immediate help. He gently asked if Liam could stand, and when the boy struggled to get up, Barron carefully lifted him in his arms. Liam was alarmingly light, and Barron noticed the heat radiating from his body. He was likely running a fever. Carrying Liam inside Trump Tower, Barron asked a security guard to bring water and call for a doctor. He knew waiting wasn't an option. Liam was sick and needed attention immediately. While they waited, Barron found a quiet corner in the lobby where he could sit with the boy. He draped his coat over Liam, trying to warm him up as much as possible. Barron asked Liam a few more questions, trying to piece together his story. Liam explained in broken sentences that he and his mother had been living in a shelter after losing their apartment. His mother had been struggling to care for him because of her own health issues, and one day, she left him outside Trump Tower, saying someone would find him and help. Barron felt a wave of emotion. Sadness for Liam, anger at the circumstances that had led to this, and a fierce determination to make sure the boy would never be abandoned again. The doctor arrived quickly. A family friend Barron had called directly. After a brief examination, the doctor confirmed what Barron had suspected. Liam had a high fever and was likely battling a severe cold or flu. The doctor recommended that Liam be taken to the hospital immediately for further evaluation. Barron didn't hesitate. He arranged for a car to take them to a nearby hospital, sitting beside Liam the entire ride. The boy leaned against him, too exhausted to keep his eyes open. At the hospital, the staff admitted Liam right away. Barron stayed close, speaking with the nurses and ensuring that Liam received the best possible care. While the boy rested, Barron stepped out to call a few contacts who could help him navigate the situation. He contacted a friend who worked with a nonprofit specializing in helping homeless families. The friend promised to assist in finding Liam's mother and ensuring that they received support. Barron also made arrangements to cover all of Liam's medical expenses, determined to remove any barriers to the boy's recovery. While Liam remained in the hospital for treatment, Barron visited him daily. He brought books and small toys to keep him entertained and stayed by his side for hours, offering comfort and companionship. Over time, Liam began to open up more, sharing bits and pieces about his life before everything fell apart. Barron learned that Liam loved drawing and had once dreamed of becoming an artist. Despite his circumstances, the boy's face lit up when he talked about art, and Barron decided to nurture that spark. He brought Liam a sketchbook and pencils, encouraging him to draw whatever came to mind. As the days passed, Liam's health began to improve. He regained some of his strength and started smiling more often, though he still asked about his mother frequently. Barron reassured him that they were doing everything possible to find her and that he wouldn't have to face anything alone. Behind the scenes, Barron worked tirelessly to locate Liam's mother. The nonprofit he had contacted was making progress, reaching out to shelters and other resources across the city. Barron also began thinking about how he could provide long-term support for Liam and his mother once they were reunited. One evening, as Barron sat by Liam's hospital bed, the boy handed him a drawing he had made. It was a simple sketch of the city skyline, with two figures standing at its center, a tall man and a small boy holding hands. Barron felt a lump in his throat as he realized what the drawing represented. Liam told Barron that he drew it because Barron made him feel safe. Barron smiled and told Liam that he wasn't going anywhere, that he would always be there to help him. As Liam recovered in the hospital, Barron kept a close eye on the efforts to locate his mother. The nonprofit organization he had contacted was working tirelessly, cross-referencing shelter records and reaching out to social services. Every day, Barron checked for updates, hoping they would find her soon. Meanwhile, Barron continued to spend time with Liam, who was growing healthier and more energetic with each passing day. They developed a bond that went beyond their initial meeting. Liam trusted Barron in a way he hadn't trusted anyone in a long time, and Barron felt a sense of responsibility to protect and nurture the boy. After nearly a week of searching, Barron received a call from the nonprofit. They had located Liam's mother, Emily, at a shelter in Queens. She was alive but unwell, struggling with a chronic illness that had made it difficult for her to care for Liam. When they told her that Liam was safe and being cared for, she broke down in tears, overwhelmed with relief. Barron immediately arranged for Emily to visit the hospital to see her son. When she arrived, she looked fragile and worn, but her eyes lit up the moment she saw Liam. The boy ran to her, wrapping his arms around her waist as she knelt to hold him. They clung to each other, tears streaming down their faces. Barron watched the reunion from a few steps away, feeling a mix of emotions, happiness that Liam was back with his mother, but also concern for their future. It was clear that Emily loved her son deeply, but her health and financial situation were still precarious. After giving them a moment alone, Barron introduced himself to Emily. He explained how he had found Liam and taken care of him while they searched for her. Emily was overwhelmed with gratitude, thanking Barron repeatedly for saving her son. She explained that she had never wanted to leave Liam alone, but her illness and the pressures of homelessness had left her feeling like she had no choice. Barron reassured her that he wasn't there to judge, he only wanted to help. He told her about the nonprofit that had assisted in finding her, and how they could also provide support for her and Liam moving forward. Emily listened intently, her hope slowly returning as Barron described the resources available to them. Over the next few days, Barron worked closely with the nonprofit to create a plan for Emily and Liam. He arranged for Emily to receive medical treatment for her condition, covering all the expenses. He also helped secure temporary housing for them in a safe, supportive environment where they could begin to rebuild their lives. Barron didn't stop there. He wanted to ensure that Liam could have a stable, nurturing childhood, so he arranged for the boy to enroll in a nearby school. He also provided Liam with art supplies and encouraged him to continue drawing, knowing how much joy it brought him. As Emily's health improved, she began to think about how she could support herself and Liam long-term. Barron connected her with a job training program through the nonprofit, giving her the opportunity to gain new skills and re-enter the workforce. Emily threw herself into the program, determined to create a better future for her son. Word of Barron's involvement in Liam and Emily's story began to spread. Though Barron had never sought publicity for his actions, someone from the nonprofit mentioned his role in an interview about their work. Soon, news outlets picked up the story, and people were inspired by Barron's compassion and dedication to helping a family in need. The attention brought an influx of donations to the nonprofit, allowing them to expand their efforts and help more families like Liam and Emily. Barron used the opportunity to advocate for broader support systems for homeless families, emphasizing the importance of addressing both immediate needs and long-term solutions. As the weeks turned into months, Emily and Liam began to thrive. Emily completed her job training program and secured a position at a local community center, where she helped coordinate resources for families in crisis. She found fulfillment in her work, knowing she was giving back to others who were facing the same struggles she once did. Liam adjusted well to his new school, quickly making friends and excelling in his classes. He continued to draw every chance he got, filling sketchbooks with imaginative scenes and heartfelt portraits. One day, he gave Barron a drawing of the two of them standing in front of Trump Tower, with the words, "Thank you for saving me," written at the top. Barron was deeply moved by the gesture. He framed the drawing and kept it in his office as a reminder of the impact one act of kindness could have. Seeing the transformation in Emily and Liam's lives inspired Barron to take his efforts even further. He established a foundation dedicated to supporting homeless families, focusing on providing housing, health care, and educational opportunities. He named the foundation Liam's Light, in honor of the boy who had sparked his mission. Through the foundation, Barron worked to create systemic change, partnering with local governments and organizations to address the root causes of homelessness. He also spoke at events and fundraisers, sharing Liam and Emily's story to inspire others to take action. For Emily and Liam, life continued to improve. They moved into a small but comfortable apartment, filled with warmth and love. Liam's room was covered in his drawings, and Emily often smiled as she watched him work on his latest masterpiece. One evening, Barron visited them at their new home. They shared a simple dinner, laughing and talking as though they were old friends. Liam showed Barron his latest sketches, while Emily expressed her gratitude once again for everything Barron had done. Barron told them that they had done the hard work. It was their determination and resilience that had turned things around. He was simply glad he could help them take the first step. As Barron left their apartment that night, he felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He looked up at the city skyline, its lights twinkling against the dark sky, and thought about how one small moment, a boy sitting alone outside Trump Tower, had set everything in motion. He knew there was still much work to be done, but he was ready for it. Helping Liam and Emily had shown him the power of compassion, and he was determined to carry that lesson forward.